Hello and welcome to Coach Oyugi. In this video, I answer a question I was recently asked by one of my followers. The question was, hey coach, how do I handle conflicts, whether with my spouse or at my workplace or with my friends? So before we go deep into this particular conversation, I want to ask you, have you subscribed to the channel? Because if you not, I want to encourage you to do so. Please subscribe to my channel, invite someone to like and comment and watch these videos, share them with your friends, followers and family. And then you help us build a community around us that is growing and learning together, and therefore we all become fulfilled and fruitful, and we flourish in whatever ventures that we are engaged in our lives. But let's answer this question. So how do I handle conflict? First of all, what is a conflict? A conflict is a departure from what we agree on. Okay, so we have a conflict when we have a disagreement on something fundamental to the both of us. It is basically what we don't see from the same perspective together. You need to understand, the people that you have conflicts with are normally people you relate closely with. You'll most likely not have a conflict with anyone you don't have contact with. The fact that you have conflict means you have access. It means you have a sort of relationship or working situation together. So the person is not the problem, but there is a problem. There is a departure from what the both of you generally consider an agreement. That's why you call it a conflict. And that conflict normally mostly is a product of your differences, different lenses through which you see things, or different experiences and different judgment and stuff like that. It's most conflicts are a diversity issue. They stem from the fact that we are different, and so we see things differently, we communicate differently, we make decisions differently, our choices are informed differently. So this always will bring a conflict when you are a part of a team or you are in a relationship with someone. So as a general guide, this is what I think you could do. Number one is to study the conflict. Just study the conflict. What are we disagreeing on? What are we fighting about? What is it that is bringing contention between us? Is it how we spend money if you are married? Is it how we raise children? Is it that I am not helpful at home with chores? What is it that we are disagreeing on? Okay, and because that is important, before you even start going deeper into why we are disagreeing, just what is the conflict? Understand whatever you don't study, you cannot correct. If you want to correct this well, that you must be able to study it. So study the conflict, ensure that you master what is the disagreement, what is the conflict, understand it. Secondly, remember that you don't have a problem with a person, but you have a problem. It is not the person, maybe let me rephrase it. The person is not the problem. The problem is the problem, is the conflict. So the conflict is the problem, not the person. Okay, so if you're going to handle a conflict, therefore focus, the second thing, focus on the conflict, not on the person. Okay, so I've said number one, study the conflict, know the conflict. The second thing is focus on that conflict, on solving the problem, not on the person. I have seen people get so personal when they have an issue at the office. You have an issue about a per diem that you did not requisition in good time, or a receipt you didn't return to the accountant when you're supposed to have returned it, or you have a challenge at the office with an email you never wrote or a communication you never gave, and now you attack the person. Don't attack the person. Just handle the conflict. What is the conflict? You did not send an email when you are supposed to have sent the email. That is the problem. The email is the problem. So how do we sort that? Because if I focus on this person, I begin to think, oh, you always do this, oh, you always do the other one. In fact, last week you did that, the other week you did the other one, and now I bring all the other issues that I'm not supposed to bring into this conversation. And then one small issue becomes like a mountain now of other issues. If you want to solve problems effectively, study the problem, and then number 2, focus on the problem. Number 3 is you have to be guided in your solution for that problem. And this means you have to be able to see how to solve the problem must be guided. And I will give you a few guides here. Number 1, don't lose your voice while solving a problem. Do not lose your uniqueness. Do not lose your the person you are. Handle the conflict and come out whole. Come out whole. If there are things you need to correct or change, by all means do so. But if the solution of this conflict puts you down, takes away from your dignity, takes away from your confidence, disapproves your competence, or kills your motivation, then the solution is wrong. Whatever solution you are taking for the conflict, be guided in the sense that your voice must not be degraded or lost in the course of solving the problem. Number 2, be guided by vision. Solve all problems towards a cause, towards a goal. Okay, so what is the vision that we are trying to move forward? What is the agenda we are trying to move forward? Our solution to the problem must affirm our commitment to that vision. So maybe our vision is to be able to grow our wealth as a couple, and we are now solving my expenditure challenge. Let that expenditure challenge solution that we have promote our collective goal to be able to increase our wealth. That should be the focus. Be guided by vision. Where do I see myself in 5 years? Is this conflict helping us to get there? Where do we see our company in 2 years? Is this conflict, the solution we are providing, that does it help us to go closer to that place? And finally, be guided by values. Ensure that whatever happens, there are certain bare minimums that are not ignored. Okay, there are boundaries that we don't cross. There are lines that we do not touch. Just ensure that there is a guide, there is a values that we keep. There is a certain core values or belief system that guides our operations. Very, very important. Your conflict must not, in handling it, you should not abuse me. In handling that conflict, you should not manipulate me. You should not demean me. You should not degrade me. There must be values that we adhere to that help us to be able to handle a conflict. If you handle the conflict well and you make the right decisions while handling that conflict, you should be able to arrive at a place where your voice is sustained, where your vision is affirmed, and where your values not only are clarified, but they are actually firmed up. That's very important for a conflict. And ensure that when you handle the conflict, that it is conclusive, that you actually come to a closure is very important when handling conflicts, so that it does not become itself a beginning of future conflicts. Okay, I hope that was a good answer to the person who asked that question. And thank you for watching this video. Let's see you in the next one. Have a wonderful time.